Caring for a loved one with a disability or special needs can be truly rewarding, but also involves great personal sacrifice. According to the latest Fidelity Investments American Caregivers study, joining us with some practical suggestions on how to keep your head above water is Stacey Watson, Senior Vice President of Life Events Planning at Fidelity Investments. Good morning, Stacey. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you joining us. So, what misconceptions do future caregivers have that current caregivers learn the hard way when it comes to caregiving and planning?
Well, the biggest misconception is that time is on your side because two-thirds of future caregivers think they have 3 years or more to prepare. But current caregivers say they had little to no notice. And I know that was the case for me when my dad died. I took over as guardian for my brother who has schizophrenia, and I was definitely playing catch up. So if you know you're going to be a caregiver in the future, the time to plan is now. And that can include things like building your support network or developing a family communication plan, and even understanding any government benefits or resources that may be available to you.
Now, how did the events of the past year have an effect on caregivers of loved ones with special needs?
Well, the pandemic made some challenges easier, actually, like work flexibility, but then it intensified others. Caregivers tell us that they feel even more isolated due to the pandemic, and 24% think that's not going to go away anytime soon. And the job is just hard already, and caregivers can often be reluctant to ask for help. But my message is that asking for assistance is a sign of strength, not weakness. And the other thing I would say is if you know someone who's a caregiver, proactively help them. Shop for groceries, run an errand. Don't ask, just do, because these simple acts can really make a big impact.
Now, what are the top concerns caregivers have?
Well, the biggest concern is what happens when I'm no longer around to provide care for my loved one. And it's worrisome because it feels beyond our control. But at Fidelity, we work with families all day, every day. And we stress the importance of having a plan because that's how you can make your wishes known and it brings you peace of mind. And a plan would include things like identifying the future care team and preparing a financial strategy for their future. And we've put together lots of tools and resources and a very helpful checklist at fidelity.com/special needs planning.
Now, are there any other tips to help caregivers to in lessons on stress?
Yes, caregivers actually gave us their tips, and they said, first of all, don't go it alone. Assign specific roles to family members, including somebody that can serve as a backup when you just need a break. Secondly, they said practice self care. 7 in 10 caregivers say they neglect their own needs, but that little bit of self care can prevent you from feeling burned out. And then finally, they said leverage people who have been there and done that. There are a lot of local and online community groups that can be a great source of information.
Here's another question for you, Stacey. It's on the personal side. So you got brothers and sisters pretty close to the same age. They're all getting up in their 70s and 75s and their 80s. How do they help each other out?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think identifying like who are the other people in your support network that can help you, and again, putting that simple plan in place is really a good first start. And assigning roles and who's gonna do what.
Now, again, where can our viewers go for more information on caregiving and to get help?
You can go to fidelity.com/special needs planning.
I've been sitting here today talking to Stacey Watson, Senior Vice President of Life Events and Planning at Fidelity Investments. Stacey, thank you again for joining us on Morning Blend.
Thanks for having me.